I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is I forgot my sermon. The bad news is it's in the sacristy and I'll be right back. This gospel that we just heard, I think is one of the most confrontative gospels in all of the scriptures. Who's Jesus? Jesus is the Prince of Peace. He's the Good Shepherd. He's our kind and loving Lord. Here's what he says. I've come to cast fire on the earth, and how I wish it were already blazing. I have a baptism to go and undergo. It means the cross. And how I wish it were accomplished. I've come not for peace, but for division, even within families. What is going on here? In our crazy world, authentic religious people will always be opposed. Let me say that again. In our crazy world, authentic religious people will always be opposed. You say the world's not crazy. Pope Francis said just the other day, we live in an increasingly secularized and de-Christianized culture. In other words, let's call it for what it is. Increasingly secularized, secular means God has no place in it, and de-Christianized. Christian values, no, in our culture, according to Pope Francis. And of course, I think he's right. So, for example, if we in our world today speak the truth, because our world is crazy, people are going to think we're crazy. If you were convinced that this pulpit was white, and I said, no, it's kind of a dark brown, you'd think I was crazy. So no, it's white. In our upside-down world, that's how it goes. So if you would speak out, hopefully lovingly, but clearly on the truth on abortion or euthanasia or embryonic stem cell research or same-sex marriage or the rampant materialism, you are what you own, or ideological secularism, God has no place in our country, people are going to oppose you. They're going to think you're crazy. Pope Benedict talked about the dictatorship of relativism. Interesting phrase, isn't it? As I said, relativism means there's no truth, right? Your truth is different from my truth. There's no objective truth. Everything's relative. But then he said the dictatorship of relativism. And he's right. In other words, not only is it relativism, but I am going to make sure that you buy that same view of the world. There's no such thing as a truth. There's very much a dictatorship going on as well. People will want you out of the picture if you are opposing current cultural values. Jesus said, I came to light a fire on the earth. That's the opposite of a get-along attitude. God's kingdom, in order for it to come to earth, some things have to go. Think of Jesus cleansing the temple. He said, no, this doesn't belong in my Father's house. For God to come, some things have to go. True love is passionately opposed to what brings evil into a person's life. Let me say that again. True love is passionately opposed to what brings evil into a person's life. A high school senior is struggling with a heroin habit. What is true love going to be for his mom and dad? They are going to move hell and high water to help their son move away from that poisonous drug. True love is passionately opposed to anything bringing evil into a person's life. For us to be for something means we're going to be against something. So that mom and dad are for their son, which means they're going to be against heroin use. And it's true in probably every area of our life. Jesus, in our gospel today, is looking for a full buy-in. He's looking for 100% disciples. He says to us, I would that you were hot or cold. The lukewarm I vomit out of my mouth. Jacques Maritain said this, I love this. He said, it's always dangerous to be half Christian. To be half Christian. It's always dangerous. What is keeping us from a full buy-in? Because all of us are works in progress. I bet no one here, certainly myself, would say I'm a 100% disciple of Jesus Christ. We're all on the road. What keeps us from that full buy-in that Jesus is asking for? I think one big thing is wanting the good opinion of others. We call that human respect. Human respect is huge in our hearts. I want you to like me. So even if you say something that I totally disagree with or that I think is seriously wrong, I'll be silent or I'll go along. Human respect. Another thing I think that keeps us is, I guess, mediocrity, kind of the same old, same old. This has always been good enough before. Good enough isn't good enough. Jesus is not looking for half-hearted followers. I think another thing that keeps us from our buy-in, more and more this hits me, I don't know about you, is our constant liberal, secular culture shifts. Yeah, it seems like every day brings a new story of a culture shift. They're coming at us so rapidly. I think everyone would agree with this. So what was okay yesterday is not okay today. Or vice versa. What was wrong yesterday is perfectly fine today. The current promotion of gender theory, that people choose to be male or female. Pope Francis said about that, it seeks to annihilate humankind as the image of God. But it's the cause du jour right now, gender theory. In other words, all of us need something stable and true to hold on to, because the changes are going to keep coming. We talk at the rectory about, okay, what's going to be the next issue of the day? And I'm sure they are going to keep coming, these cultural shifts. We need, in other words, the authority and the truth of Jesus Christ and of his church. Jesus himself promised us. He made Peter the head of the church, and he said, the gates of hell will not prevail against it, and I will be with you always until the end of the world. You've heard the story of the man who hated his cross. And so he got rid of it, threw it away, and he went into a room full of crosses. And he checked them all out, and he said, yeah, that's the one I want. And he wound up picking his own cross again. In other words, there will be a cross involved if we are following Jesus Christ. I would say even more so in our culture today. If we're serious about following Christ, there will be a cross involved for all of us. But we will not carry it alone. Jesus will be with us every step of the way. And we want the reason for the cross to be that we are being faithful to Jesus Christ. Jesus, right now, I have the cross, we might say, and it's because, to the best of my ability, I'm trying to be faithful to you. If that's the case, then we know we are on the right road.